All right. Hi, everybody. You can hear me, right? I think so. The camera is kind of bad today, right? Do I have to fix it something? Kinda. Hi, everybody. How are you? How are you? I'm very excited today, because today is in Vietnam. In Vietnam's time, today is 18th May. And tomorrow is gonna be birthday of Ho Chi Minh, and it's a big day in Vietnam. We like celebrate a lot and all kind of banners and news and on the street everywhere. So yes, tomorrow is gonna be the birthday of Ho Chi Minh, and he was born in 1890. Yes, in 1890 in the center of Vietnam. Actually, his hometown is kind of right next to my hometown in the center of Vietnam. By the way, anyway, today is a big day. That is why I am gonna talk about Ho Chi Minh Thought today, and also at the same time, a lot of people has been asking me about Ho Chi Minh Thought and the basic principles, the basic like concept of that Ho Chi Minh Thought, because sadly in the world right now that not many people really know about exactly what is Ho Chi Minh Thought and why does it exist and what is it for. Okay, so in this stream I'm gonna give you some like quick answers about that, and if you have any questions just feel free to ask me. Okay. It is I am just to start, I am not an expert. No, I'm not. I'm just a normal Vietnamese nerd. I love like reading about this and learning about this, and based on my own life experience in Vietnam, I can give you the answer that most Vietnamese students can give you if you ask them about Ho Chi Minh Thought. So yeah, and in the future, in the long term future, when I have time, definitely I will make videos talking about Ho Chi Minh Thought, and then I will translate our textbook of Ho Chi Minh Thought, where we like literally like use a textbook to teach Vietnamese students about that Ho Chi Minh Thought. So, I mean, just for the live stream today, it is like a sneak review of that like plan in the future, and also, well, today is just one day earlier to the Ho Chi Minh birthday, so why not just do it, right? To warm up, I guess I will spend about 15-20 minutes talking about what's been going on in the USA right now with the mass shootings, like incidents. Like, I, of course, I am very sad whenever I heard any news about another mass shooting in the USA, but I'm not shocked. I'm not like surprised, because it is a thing that me personally, I foresaw it for so long, for years now. Just look at the situation in the USA, the society over there, and the indoctrination, and then the relationship between the state, the government, and the people over there. Seeing like the fascism is rising up without having any actual like pushback from the actual power, like the government or something. This shit will just happen more and more. I gotta say, if there's gonna be no revolution, no like drastic or change or anything like that, this shit's gonna happen more and more. And the working class, the marginalized people is gonna will gonna be suffering more and more and more. And yes, there's a frightening number of Americans trapped in false consciousness, and now the country is collapsing. Exactly, exactly. I mean, just compare the society, like with Vietnam, we've been criticized of being totalitarian, authoritarian, but at least we do not have this mass shooting happen like several times every month in Vietnam. We don't have that shit here. Okay, so sometimes like there was like 2 years ago there was an incident in the north of Vietnam. A guy like shot his ex-wife's family because they had like, it's kind of domestic dispute. They divorced, and then that guy, they would not like, he was very violent before. That was why his wife like divorced him, and then he was mad, he didn't want divorce, so he tried to like take the revenge on her family. I mean, he killed two people and injured other five people. That shit does happen in Vietnam, but it's very rare, and mostly due to like domestic dispute or something, that is not because of race or, you know, yeah, not because of racism or anything like that. It's very different, and the society in Vietnam here now is really stable. And as I said many times before, I even though I was born under the U.S. sanctions in the 90s, and I was born in extreme poverty. Beef was like luxury at that time, and I didn't have running water. I didn't have a stable electricity, and my snack was grasshoppers. And the first time I tasted like fresh milk was when I was like 15, 16, 2005, 2006, around the time that Vietnam, the last embargo was lifted on Vietnam. So even though I was born in that kind of situation, I never faced racism in real life. Nope. We won our war, and our people had self determination. That is why, even though I had to bear poverty, extreme poverty, but I have my own freedom. I don't have to grow up. I didn't have to grow up with racism, being mistreated by other people. And that is a thing that I want a lot of you to understand, the feeling when, like, you imagine in a society where your children can grow up without facing any racism. Your children growing up learn your history of your own people, love your own people, and be treated equally as other people. Like, I said many times that the first time I faced racism was actually when I started my YouTube channel, and I went online and directly talked to a lot of Western leftists, Westerners, in general. And that was the first time I faced racism. I was like, holy shit! So it is a society out there, huh? I was really well protected in Vietnam. Ah, the politics behind the shooting isn't uniquely American. I mean, the whole imperial core, not just America. I mean, America is just like the country, the USA. It's just a country that the first country that we think about when we talk about that kind of shit. But it also happened that like mass shooting based on race also happened in the UK. In I remember it was in Australia too, if I'm not wrong. But like in the whole, it's the problem in the imperial core. I mean, that's it. Those sanctions in Vietnam had the that Vietnam had imperialist racism or systemic racism at a global level. Exactly, you're right. Exactly. What I talk about was in the society of Vietnam, within Vietnam, like that. We treated everybody equally like that, and I didn't have to face any actual real life racism growing up. Even to this day, I mean, I face racism when I meet expats, quote unquote, white expat, in tourist areas, like they mean. And I mean, I really don't give a shit. And if I want, I can just like straight up like walk toward them and just tell them to fucking stop that, because I'm in my fucking country. I have my power of being an independent country, a citizen of independent country like that, with self-determination, and they are in my land, and they better fucking respect our people and our culture. And that is a totally different dynamic, because you have your own country and your own nation being free, from oppression, from racism like that. I mean, looking at it, talking about it from a small scale like that, it is so much better for your mental health, I gotta say, compared to I talk to a lot of people, especially Vietnamese diaspora living in the imperial core. You know, it's very different. Even though, of course, my childhood was way poorer than you. Cheese and milk and sugar and candies and cakes, all fancy to me. But I rather live in a society where, you know, I can live equally, facing no racism, than living in a country where can I can eat cheese and like ham, but I could be shot on the street by some white dude. It's horrible. All right, all right. What is something the West should learn about Uncle Ho? There, there are a lot of things that the West should and must learn about Uncle Ho. A lot. The thing is that, like, to fight against racism, okay? You, especially white people, you need to learn to love, to sympathize, to listen to non-white people, to oppressed people, to the working class. That is a very, very basic thing that Ho Chi Minh taught everybody in his whole life. Just learn to open your heart, to love, to sympathize, and to listen to other people, to shut the fuck up and just listen. That is why I keep telling people from the imperial core, especially if you are in any position of privilege, you don't need to agree with every single thing that we non-white people tell you. But the core thing is you should listen. You should listen and you should find out why we are saying that, instead of immediately like fight against it, immediately like become like stubborn and try to protect your uh, position of privilege. So for example, like my last broadcast, we talk about how like systemic racism, and how I made a thread about how using like tactical n word or ironic bigotry, it's not it is harmful for the movement, and is harmful for people like us. And it's those and that triggered a lot of white leftists, quote unquote, a lot. And I mean, like, okay, if you hear, like, if you're white and you think that ironic bigotry is funny, and bigotry is like some like it's just a joke. Come on, can you take it? Can you get over it? Something like that. Like, okay, if you really think that ironic bigotry is really funny and those jokes are funny and tactical and what is actually useful, and when you really think that, okay, that's fine, you believe that, okay, fine, you find that those just funny, okay. Now, when we say that, hey dude, that's not cool, stop it, don't use that, that's harmful to us, instead of immediately like fight against it and dismiss our saying, our advice, our thought, why don't you just shut up for a few seconds, listen to us, and ask why. Ask yourself why. Why do you think that's funny, and why do we actual marginalized people do not think that is funny? That is very important. You know. Wait a minute. I need to charge my computer. That's really weird. I remember that I did charge it. Give me a second. Oh, this is it. Okay, my computer is now charged. Good. So that's it. Yeah, Patrol Media. Hi, BP. I think hope that things are being okay in your side. I know that was been happening to you, and god damn it, this is it. BP was a comrade who just got arrested due to a peaceful protest on the street, and this shit is what like I've been talking about. I mean, systemic racism, and when people like us saying like, "Hey, it's not cool," saying that if you claim to be our comrades, maybe consider not doing those things. Because why do you think it's funny? Like racist jokes and sexist jokes, they're not funny. And as I said in that broadcast, I was victim of sexist jokes in Vietnam. Because believe it or not, patriarchy is also very strong here. So I meet a bunch of dudes sitting together and laugh at women and made like very terrible sexist jokes, and they laughed so fucking hard about it. This shit, if you see, and if you know though, if you like just see those people making those jokes, and if you think you can, I really encourage you to go and walk to those and talk to those people. Hey, it's not cool doing that. But if you don't think that it's safe to do that, it's fine. I'm not asking anybody to do things that they can't do or that it's not safe for them to do. But it means just try to not do nothing and try to step up and fight against it if you can. Because if you see those bigotry, those racism, and you don't do nothing, you don't do anything to stop it, it will escalate slowly but steadily. It will escalate, and then it will lead to violence and then genocide of non-white people. So it is very sad, but it is very true. And yeah, now let's talk about Ho Chi Minh Thought for absolute beginners. All right. A lot of people ask me, what is Ho Chi Minh Thought and what is it for? Because they just heard about, Marxism, Leninism, and then Maoism, and then maybe that's it. What about Ho Chi Minh Thought? Ho Chi Minh Thought is a system of Ho Chi Minh's ideas about about socialism in Vietnam, to build socialism in Vietnam. That is just simple as that. And Ho Chi Minh Thought is like, it is an application of Marxism, Leninism into the society of Vietnam, into the material conditions of Vietnam. That is just it. So the point is that like each of the society, each of the country, once you want to build socialism and communism based on Marxism, Leninism, you must. This is the thing that you must do, because you cannot copy other people's path. There's no way. You have to learn Marxism, Leninism, and then apply that ideology into your society, into your material conditions, and then develop your own version of Marxism, Leninism. For example, we have, Mao Thought. Actually, I love using the word Mao Thought than Maoism, because when Mao was alive, he specifically, I read it from somewhere in the Vietnamese news. I could be wrong, but I remember it very well like this. Mao specifically said that just call all of his works like Mao Thought. He didn't want people to call it like Maoism, because it's not an ism. It's not a very distinguished ideology that different from Marxism-Leninism. It is just his thought got applied into the actual material condition of China at that time. Same thing happened in Vietnam. We have a Ho Chi Minh Thought, which is the application of Marxism-Leninism in Vietnam. And also Juche is also a version of Marxism-Leninism in North Korea. Now I'm not sure about Cuba, but I haven't heard about that a lot. But I can tell like Laos, they have a Suphanuvong, the Red Prince, and he also had like his own thought about building socialism in Laos. So it is a thing. It is a very basic, simple thing that if you are Marxist Leninist, you must know that Marxism Leninism is not Bible. It is just some basic principles that you should learn, you must learn, and then you have to apply those principles creatively into your own material conditions of the society that you're living in. You cannot copy exactly what Marx and Engels and Lenin did before that. Leninism is, believe it or not, Leninism is a version of Marxism that got applied into Russia in the 20th centuries, around the time they had the October Revolution. Leninism is the version of Marxism applied into Russia, and then we call it Marxism-Leninism because Lenin's contribution to Marxism was so important that it is a very like an unseparable part of Marxism. And then Mao brought that to China and had Mao Thought. Ho Chi Minh brought that to Vietnam and had Ho Chi Minh Thought. And then, North Korea brought that to their country and had Jucheism. That is that is a very basic thing that every single, if you call yourself Marxist, you must learn about it. That is why I saw there's a big problem in especially ultra leftist, where they just like whenever they call like Vietnam, China, North Korea, Laos, Cuba revisionist, because we do not do exactly what their Marx and Engels and Lenin or their Chairman Mao or Chairman Gonzaloy wrote in their books, and they call other people like revisionist. That is a very, very wrong view of those people, because they always call themselves like the one true communist Marxist Leninist in the world, and they think that they can like lecture the whole world about how to do communism right when they are the one who got the biggest mistake, who made the biggest mistake, where they treat those books as Bible, and they criticize anybody else like who dare to apply those ideologies uh, creatively to fit their own material condition. Now that's a revisionist. That is it is very funny. It is very funny though. I mean, yeah. The point is that like I am not saying that Vietnam is perfect or China is perfect or North Korea is perfect or Laos is perfect or Cuba is perfect. No, it's not. We're not. That is the hard truth that we are fucking not perfect. We have so many problems. Are you kidding me? Running a society like Vietnam, nearly 100 million people. It's so hard. A poor and developing country just got out of the war just like a few decades ago. Are you kidding me? Running that society and you expect us to be like utopia already? Like, what are you talking about? Of course, we made so many mistakes, and in the future we will make mistakes. The whole point of learning Ho Chi Minh Thought and learning how socialism works is that you learn from your own mistakes, and you will move forward and you will be better in the future, because in this world, in this capitalist hellhole, not a single society have reached communism yet. Nope. The countries like Vietnam, China, Laos, North Korea, Cuba, the 5 countries, we are just having baby steps on the path toward communism. The future is totally unrevealed and totally dark, and we don't even know exactly what we will achieve in the future. We're just trying our best every single day to learn and to move forward because we know exactly for sure that capitalism is not the way, and we're trying a different path. It might work, it might not work, who knows? But at least we're trying. That is why we make mistakes, of course, because we are working, we are making our own road. There's no reset road before. Nobody, like the boldly go where no one has been before. Exactly that. If you're Star Trek fan, to boldly go where no one has gone before, have been before, have gone before, something like that. That's exactly what we're doing. So of course we make mistakes. All we can do right now is to learn ideology and to apply that into material conditions. And if we make mistakes, okay, we go and fix it and learn lessons from it and move on. It doesn't mean that if we make like, I mean, those people, I just can't, and I just can't understand it, those mindset. Okay, I am a Czechie, yes. So that is the point of socialism. I'm just giving you some background information about what Ho Chi Minh thought for, and what's the point, what's the purpose of socialism. Socialism is to boldly go, to boldly strive to a society that in theory that is going to be better for humanity, to lead you to human liberation. Okay? Nobody has been there before. There's not a formula, an exact formula for every single one to follow. No. We are the one who's like starting this. Vietnam, China, Laos, North Korea, Vietnam. We are the one who's starting, who are setting examples for you to follow. Learn from us. We did right, we did wrong. Learn from those things, and from that you build your own society. Dude, Vietnam, we are like sacrificing ourselves to give you examples so you can just learn from us with, like, without making the same mistakes. That is the point of my whole channel, to show you how actual Vietnam is today. Now, Ho Chi Minh Thought. Ho Chi Minh Thought. I just explain to you what is Ho Chi Minh Thought. Ho Chi Minh Thought is the system, Ho Chi Minh's idea about applying Marxism-Leninism into the society of Vietnam, and that's it. And they are what you talk about. Here, I will send you the link. This is from the official website of Vietnam, I think, and they talk about the basic like the main points of Ho Chi Minh thought that you should know. There are six main points that you should learn about. And this is the thing that, like, I have to say this before I really teach you about this. Ho Chi Minh thought is just the version of Marxism-Leninism in Vietnam for Vietnam only. You cannot and you should not copy every single thing that Ho Chi Minh advised into your society. Because your society is different from our society. Your history is different. Your culture is different. Your people is different. Of course, you can't. What you can do is you learn from it. And if you see that anything is like useful that you can use for your movement, take it. And if you don't see them useful, okay, don't take it. Okay. Or if you don't agree with Ho Chi Minh because your society is different, that's fine. I'm not saying that you have to agree with every single thing that Ho Chi Minh said. No. Ho Chi Minh just wrote this for Vietnamese only, about Vietnam only. So do not treat it as some Bible. I said, no, do not treat those books as a Bible. It's just some guidance for you. Ho Chi Minh was just a man, a Vietnamese dude who also tried his best to liberate his country from colonialism and imperialism, and that's it. Okay? And this is his thoughts along the way. Now let's start with the foremost point of Ho Chi Minh in Ho Chi Minh Thought is that the first, that's total six, okay, total six. The first is Ho Chi Minh Thought about the revolutionary path of Vietnam. That is very important. Now, you must remember this. Ho Chi Minh Thought is not kind of the ideology that talk about every single aspect of Vietnam. Nope. Ho Chi Minh Thought just focus on the revolutionary issues of Vietnam. Any issues, any problems, any topics that is related to the revolution of Vietnam. That's what he talked about. Okay. All right. Ho Chi Minh. First point. Ho Chi Minh thought about the revolutionary path of Vietnam. There are several, smaller, topics about this too. First, he believed this. Now, the national liberation, the class liberation, and the human liberation are like intertwined with each other. You will at first, because his perspective is about a colony like Vietnam, like Indochina, Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia. So, if you want to liberate humanity first, you have to liberate class. And then before that, you have to liberate your own nation first. Now, this is a very dialectical materialism here, okay? Talking about colony like Vietnam. Of course, we cannot have like a whole liberation of our humanity if like we still fucking under colonialism by French colonialist. So of course, first, you need to liberate yourself, your own nation from colonialism, imperialism, fascism. On that foundation, on that basis, once your nation gain self-determination and independence, you will then have revolution to liberate your class, between capitalist class and the working class. Only after that we can truly strive toward human liberation. That is step by step. Nation liberation, class liberation, and then humanity liberation. That is why I am very pro land back and decolonization, because you cannot liberate your class or humanity without having your own self-determination first. That is very important. Oh, I want to sneeze so badly. Daniel, thank you so much for your super chat. Luna, do you think that a big part of the reason why many socialist experiments started after the USSR, because it gave a tangible example of bravery and vision for a better world to emulate? Exactly. The USSR was a great example, great success, and also great failure that we all should learn. We should not like be afraid because what happened in the USSR. No, we should not. The collapse of the USSR is a huge lesson for Vietnam that we still talk about this to this day. We look at what happened to the USSR, why they collapsed, and we try our best to avoid it. That is the thing that we should do. When we see our comrade failed, that is not the reason for you like you should you're scared, you got scared, and you're like, oh, you back out, and you're like, okay, I'm so scared, like I will stop right now because maybe I will fail too, like that. No, you learn from that. Like Che Guevara was killed, and the assassination, the murder of Che Guevara must not be the reason like for you to like got scared and stop being a reactionary, the revolutionary. No, you should not. You learn from it. And then the murder of Che Guevara should be the motivation for you to fight even harder because you don't want your comrades to be murdered like Che. The same in Vietnam. The existence of the USSR was really great. And it proved to us that socialism, if we do it right, it will work. It will flourish. The USSR formed an agrarian country, agricultural like country under the Tsar, horrible regime of the Tsar. In just a few decades, they sent people to space. They sent spaceship. You know, awesome. They turned the country from a poor ass country into a power of the world. That the USA was so scared of them. That is the power of socialism. But of course, as I said, the USSR was just the very first reason that tried socialism. And they failed. They failed in 1991. And it's just a very sad thing. But it is a thing that we must accept. That yes, we will make mistakes. And if we are not be careful enough, be aware enough, we will also be failed. That is why Vietnam right now, we look at the USSR and we learn from them. We try to prevent the same thing would happen to Vietnam. Learn from it. And the USSR, the great example of how to start socialism and how to not end like them. They give us a great example to follow and to avoid. So it is a thing like revolutionary optimism that EJ had a great video about. Revolutionary optimism means that you know that you know that you learn about the actual things that happen and expect the worst thing to happen, prepare for it. But also, you look at it from an optimistic, revolutionary optimistic way. It means that like the USSR collapse. It's really sad. It is so fucking sad. Are you fucking kidding me? It is sad. But look at it. We have to look at it from a different perspective. We cannot change the past. We can't. So what can you do about it in nowadays? Learn from them. Please, like it is an example. The collapsing of the USSR is like the thing that you must avoid. The Soviet Union didn't fall. The imperialists destroyed them. Yeah, say whatever you want. I mean, they stopped existed, and I mean it's very sad. And Vietnam still talk about that to this day, about learn how to avoid that. Okay, next. Talk about Ho Chi Minh Thought about the revolutionary path of Vietnam. And he talked about, a colony must liberate itself from colonialism, imperialism, then liberate class, and then liberate humanity. You cannot just jump like ahead. You have to do that. That is why Ho Chi Minh advocated his whole life to liberate Vietnam from French colonialism and then the USA imperialism. Because you cannot free yourself if your country is not free. Next is about okay, so after the next point in this big point is that after your nation got liberated from colonialism, the society must follow socialism, must build socialism. Okay, the nation's liberation and self-determination must go hand in hand with socialism. It's simple as that. The first and foremost, after having self-determination, is to build socialism. How can revolutionaries cope or defend against reactionary terrorists like what happened in Buffalo, New York? This is a very big question, and I thought about this a lot. What can we do? What can we do? Looking at it from big scale like this, what we can do is to educate yourself and other people. Again, I could be wrong, and I'm just trying my best to think about what's been going on in the USA and give you a perspective, the answer from the perspective of the outsider. That the best thing you can do is first protect yourself. You must survive to fight another day. You must learn. Like Ho Chi Minh, he also learned like martial art so he can protect himself because there were so many assassinating attempts against him coming from French colonialists and the USA imperialists. So you should learn to protect yourself. Learn like, self-defense. Learn how to use some weapons if you can. Also learn like first aid, how to help people. Okay, and then the second is to like once you can protect your own life, now you move on, you move further, and then you educate other people. You protect other people. You teach other people about the truth of the society of the USA right now. Why is that happening? Because of racism, because of fascism is rising, and the USA, the United States of America, is a fascist state founded on a stolen land and genocides of innocent people. You must break through the indoctrination that your people have been fed your whole life. Now, this is a very hard job, I gotta say. I have my whole channel advocate for this, but I still facing a lot of problems, a lot of like racism. But it doesn't mean I would stop doing this. I would just keep. I would try to organize. If I'm in America right now, I will find comrades that I trust, try to organize, work with them, give mutual aid, and try to spread, the information, the class consciousness to the people. A shooting happened yesterday very near where I live, and my friend is terrified of leaving her apartment. Yes. The thing is this, you're very you're very vulnerable if you're alone. So try to organize if you can. Try to work with comrades that you trust, especially people in your own region, the people of the same race. I gotta say, like, we are marginalized people, and in a society like in the USA right now, you must, find help, seek help first, because you cannot be alone. And that's a very famous story in Vietnam about, like chopsticks. You take one chopstick out, it's so easy to break it. It's so easy. But if a bunch of chopsticks like this, you cannot break that bunch. That is the power of the people. That is why the working class, we must join together. Because we collectively, we have the power. So organize. Learn, as I said, first step, learn to protect yourself first. Because you only can protect other people if you can take care of yourself first. Learn how to, self-defense, some martial art if you can. Learn how to use kind of weapons that you feel comfortable with. Learn first aid. And also, you can learn farming, like guerrilla tactics. How to deal with, when you're a mass shooting like that, how to protect yourself and protect other people. All right? All right? And then you go and organize, find comrades, at least people of the same race, the same concern with you. if you don't really trust white people in your area. Okay, go and organize and mutually help other people and educate each other. And then in a bigger kind of scale, we will build like from mutual aid, we build dual power structure, just like Black Panther did. Now the same thing with Black Panther. Just look at what happens to them, and you learn. Try to not be treated as the same as Black Panther. That is the big example for you, big lesson for you to learn from them too. So yeah, I'm talking about the slower scale, the smaller scale to a bigger scale, from yourself like protection to like education, protect other people, and then organize mutual aid, and then dual power structure, and hopefully in the future you can have some kind of like revolution, something like that. Everything starts from the small thing like that. For example, Ho Chi Minh, he led a successful revolution, and we liberated Vietnam from French colonialism and later the USA imperialism. And you know what? Ho Chi Minh was very good, like martial artist. He's really good at it. He played a lot of sport, and he was really good at fighting against enemy using all kind of guns and weapons. And yeah, it's important like that. And I see a chat from the partism. I just wanted to say thanks for helping educate myself and the rest of the world. Thank you so much. I'm just trying my best to give you the perspective, and the word is fucked up right now, and I'm just trying to do as much as I can for the working class. I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee. Yes. The same thing is that like talking about self-defense, Vietnamese society right now, I learned how to throw grenades and shoot AK-47 and basic military orders in like from high school. Okay? That is a very basic thing. Vietnam is a country that we in peace right now. And we will not start any war with any country because we the people that love peace. But it doesn't mean that we like forget to protect ourselves. That is why Vietnam right now, every single student in Vietnam, high school student and college student and university student, learn how to throw grenades, how to shoot AK-47, how to crawl, how to move in guerrilla tactics, and also learn the basic orders of military, and usually every single word of Vietnam right now, there's gonna be an armory over there with guns and weapons, and we can defend ourselves if any bad happens. So learn how to protect yourself first. That is very important. Okay. As I said, the second point is about the nation liberation must go hand in hand with socialism. If you want to build social, it's like intertwined, like dialectical materialism. You must have self-determination, and then you build socialism, and then the socialism will go back and enhance your self-determination, make it stronger and stronger. That is two things. You cannot, as I said, you cannot have a socialism on a stolen land. You can't. This is it. This is the reason why. Because when your people do not have self-determination, how can you build socialism for your own people? You can't. No. It's as simple as that. Indigenous people must have their land back. Colonized countries must decolonize them first before they can strive towards socialism. Because in this capitalist hellhole, if the capitalists have the power over your own country, with racist people have the power over your own land, how can marginalized people have the power to build socialism. You cannot. Next point is, I'm trying to shorten it a lot here. Okay. The next point is Ho Chi Minh Thought about building socialism in Vietnam. Now, the first point is nation liberation. Remember that? First point, nation liberation, class liberation, and then human liberation. Now, next, the second important point is how to build socialism in Vietnam. All right. First, what did Ho Chi Minh explain about socialism? What does socialism mean according to Ho Chi Minh's own word? Now, this is important. I want you to remember this, keep this in mind. Ho Chi Minh this is a Ho Chi Minh explanation about socialism. Socialism is a social regime that the people will be the owner, will be the master. The government will have to uphold the mastery, the ownership of the people. The society that is by the people for the people. You know, this is it. Second, socialism is a society that has a highly developed economy based on modern technology and the collective ownership of the means of production. Socialism is a society that continuously improve the people's life, both materially and mentally. Second point about socialism. The third point is socialism is a society that the people has highly developed virtual morality and culture. Everybody are friends, comrades, and brothers and sisters to each other. The people in that society are being free from exploitation, from exploitation and oppression, and they have all means they need to develop all of their abilities. You know, something like that. Society where you can just like have been like offer everything that you need for your own self like development, something like that. And the fourth point of Ho Chi Minh's explanation about socialism is that socialism is a society of equality. In society where, now remember this is socialism, a society of equality where you work hard, you receive more, you work less, you receive less, and if you don't work, you won't receive anything. All the ethnic minorities are equal, something like that. It's because it's not yet communism. Keep in mind that it's not yet communism. In a society like this, you still exactly a society where you can be artists without starving. That's exactly it, you know. So, and the last important point of Ho Chi Minh's explanation of socialism is this: socialism is the work of the whole collective of people, and it is built by the people under the leadership of the Communist Party. That is Ho Chi Minh's definition of socialism. So long story short, Ho Chi Minh's definition of socialism is society where the people own the government, you know, the ownership of the people, and then the society with like highly developed economy. I gotta say, like lots of people like, oh, Vietnam is also not socialism because we have companies in Vietnam, we have factories in Vietnam. That's so not true. Socialism is society where highly developed economy with the collective ownership of the means of production, and also uh, you will receive all kinds of needs to develop themselves, to develop yourself. You can be an artist without starving. Okay, and it is a society where you receive the amount that you receive based on the amount of work you put in it, and it is the collective work of the whole society, not just anyone or just like some small group of people. It's as simple as that. All right. About the specific situation in Vietnam. Okay, now I just gave you the definition of socialism according to Ho Chi Minh. Now, this Ho Chi Minh thought about the path that will lead Vietnam to socialism. Now, this is very important. This is very important. I think that you should um, think about this a lot. Okay, let me give me a few seconds so I can like have some like you know uh basic thought. Yeah, because it's very long in Vietnamese version. I gotta say. Okay, the very first thing that Ho Chi Minh thought, like clearly said in his own like books, this Ho Chi Minh wrote, depending on the circumstances, the material conditions, and depend on the ethnic groups that you're trying to build socialism there. Uh, the way the path towards socialism will be different. And some countries can just go straight to socialism and then later communism if they can have that kind of power. Go straight to that. And but there are still countries that will have to go through like more steps, more smaller steps, such as like first like liberation and then the new democracy, and then move to like the transitional period to socialism, and then after that strive toward communism. It depends a lot. It depends on the actual material condition in your society. It depends on the ethnic groups that is trying to have it. You will have a different. You will decide how many steps that your country can take. For example, in Vietnam, based on our material conditions in the 1940s and in the 60s, Vietnam had to go through the transitional period, which is the reforms. It's like that. I mean, yeah. So, long story short, Ho Chi Minh's point was the path to socialism will verify based on the ethnic groups and based on the material conditions of the society that ethnic groups want to build socialism on. And I don't know exactly. I'm not an expert. I don't know exactly how the imperial core like the USA or Brazil can develop and have can build their own like socialism. I don't know. It is your job, I gotta say. I'm sorry, but it is your job to do that. You must learn your own material conditions and must gather together and think about it and decide how many steps, what kind of path exactly that your country will follow, and stick to the plan. And there were Vietnamese communists that did ask Ho Chi Minh about how how long will it take for Vietnam to truly strive toward socialism and communism. Ho Chi Minh just said this. Building socialism is a revolutionary struggle that is very complicated, full of misery, and will take very long time. That was the answer of Ho Chi Minh when people asked him about how long will it take. Even Ho Chi Minh didn't even know how long we would take. It depends. The point right now that he started it and we continue it. Hopefully, in the future, we will finish it soon to strive toward to the next step. So, hey, that's it. It's a hard, arduous job that we're just trying our best here. Next point, I guess, is about oh more about if you like economists, you also should learn about Ho Chi Minh Thought about the economy in the transitional period. Ho Chi Minh to talk about this a lot. How to build your economy because believe it or not, we still need an economy. We still need money in this fucking capitalist hellhole. Even though we want to abolish money, we want to have a stateless class society, monolith society, but we can't. We still have to exist in this capitalist with the USA with like nearly 6,000 nuclear warheads pointing at us. So, and we still need to survive in this world by trading with other countries. So, of course, we still need market. We still need money to trade. So, the point of Ho Chi Minh was to build an economy, a strong economy. The point of having socialism in Vietnam is for Vietnam to have a strong economy, industrialization, and trying to have the people with like work less and have a higher salary and have a better life and build a stronger economy for the country. It's just simple as that. There are more to it, but I think I will talk a bit to this in my video about Ho Chi Minh Thought in detail because I am a student that study economics. So this is one of my I can say like one of my field of study here in university. So I'm very interested in this how to have an economy in a transitional period of building socialism. It's complicated and it's long story short, it's not easy. You still need an economy that still has money and still has we call it like nhiều thành phần kinh tế. It means that an economy that you still have many what do you call it constituent parts means that for example in the Vietnamese society right now the economy right now we have the private sector and then state owned sector. Okay, we also have like cooperatives or self-employed sector too. So it is an economy that has many sectors like that. And also the not about building socialism in Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh also talk about how to protect ourselves from our enemies. That is also very important. As I said before, you think about protecting other people, you must know how to protect yourself first. And this is also a part of Ho Chi Minh thought. Building socialism, again, I'm trying to systemize this for you. First, Ho Chi Minh talk about nation liberation, class liberation, and then humanity liberation. After that, we will build socialism in a society. And inside this important point of building socialism in a society is that you must learn how to protect yourself. That is the point of still having borders and military. Lots of people criticize Vietnam of like, oh, you're communist. You're for like stateless and classless society. Why do you still have a military? Why do you still have a borders? You're like treated of communism. Like, dude, what are you talking about? First, We are still in the transitional period of building socialism, not full communism yet. Secondly, we are living in this capitalist hellhole where the USA is literally existing and pointing their warheads, nuclear warheads at us. Of course, we have to have borders and also have militaries and weapons to protect yourself. Like the USA right now, like lots of people like gun ownership in the USA right now. Okay, it's just like okay, like a bunch of white supremacists, fascists own guns, and they can threaten to like take your life anytime they want. But you, as a leftist, you oppose the ownership of guns because somehow you believe that like being a leftist, being a communist, being socialist means that you advocate for peace and having gun, owning a gun to protect yourself is somehow advocate for violence. What are you talking about? Excuse me? If I leave it fucking a neck to a fucking fascist and he has the gun, of course I'm gonna have my fucking own gun so I can protect our fucking self. Okay? Because you must survive to fight another day. How can you fight if you're just like being murdered by your enemies? So that's it. Protect yourself first. You want to build socialism? Liberate yourself and then protect yourself. Um, the third point of Ho Chi Minh Thought is the great unity of the whole nation. In Vietnam, we have 54 ethnic minorities. All right, and the only reason why we can successfully liberate ourselves from colonialism and imperialism was that all the different groups of people unite together and fight against that. And I talk about this many times before. And this is, should I talk a little bit about class reductionists? Because I mean, I talk real quick. It's not the main point of my video today, so my stream today. So fuck it. Um, how to unite people? How to unite different groups of people? Now I see this problem with the PASOK, the patriotic socialists in the USA right now. All right, the biggest problem. Okay, Ho Chi Minh, he united 54 different ethnic groups of Vietnam, different class of people in Vietnam to fight against colonialism, imperialism by creating the love between the groups of people, by pointing out the oppressions that different groups of people are bearing with, pointing out what caused those oppression, exploitation, and then urge each group to sympathize, to talk, to listen, and to sympathize with each other, to eliminate all the disagreement and to focus on the primary. And now is to liberate ourselves from colonialism. Now, Ho Chi Minh got us united because he encouraged us to listen, to talk, to listen, to understand, to help each other, to love each other. Now, the problem of the patriotic socialists in the USA right now is that instead of talking to us, instead of listening to us, instead of with us fighting alongside with us against sexism, racism, exploitation, and bigotry, they demand us, they request us to forget about all of that stuff. Racism stuff is not important. Just like love America, love the flag, and fight against the capitalism. Like, excuse me, what? So like they deny instead of learning and accepting the truth about their own the foundation of their own country. They force us to forget about that. They force us to put aside our daily life struggles to work with them somehow. Like, excuse me, I'm not gonna fucking work with some white supremacist dude who want healthcare but still fucking like treated like shit and thinks that we are we need civilization. We need like white saviors from them. Like what? That is very strange to them that they somehow touch a little bit of the knowledge, but they did it so wrong. They did it so wrong. Instead of acknowledging the truth of the United States of America, how it was founded on stolen land and genocide of innocent people, they do not acknowledge the movement of indigenous people of land back and decolonization, you know, and they do not recognize the concern of the people like us, the victims of imperialism, the USA imperialism. When we look at the flag of the USA, it looks exactly like a swastika flag because thousands of US soldiers committed war crimes under that flag. Okay? They waged a war on Vietnam, killed 2 million of Vietnamese civilians under that flag. And now they demand me of loving that flag, of worshiping that flag, of waving that flag beside the communist sickle and hammer flag. What? I can't. I'm sorry, I can't. Seriously, and if you really care about us, maybe choose a different flag then. Simple as that. Okay? Do not worship for the fucking country that waged genocide against millions of our own people and now ask me to love it. And if I don't support it, I'm like, long story short, that is the biggest difference between Ho Chi Minh and those American patriot socialists right now. Okay. I'm sorry, but you cannot ask us marginalized people to love that flag. I'm sorry, I can't. It's just like you're asking the victim of the Holocaust to love the flag of swastika because the swastika also represents the people of Germany. Excuse me? What? The freedom that you brought us, the bombs, the bomb craters, hundreds of barrels of toxins are buried under our soil right now, destroying our land. Uh-huh. Oh, shit, I missed some donation. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Now I'm covering my donation right now. I'm so sorry. All right. Ken Newman, thank you so much for a super chat. How do you see revolution happen in the imperial core? It was 40 minutes ago. I'm sorry now I'm answering. How do you see revolution happen in imperial core? I'm a dialectical materialist and I'm also a revolutionary optimist. Revolution can and will happen everywhere in the world. The point is that we as a working class, we need to make the conditions for that to happen. I can see that the revolution happened in the imperial core. I can see that. It might be in a very long time, but it will happen. That is what I believe in. But now, how to make it happen? It is your job. You must learn the ideology, the theories, and then apply it into reality. Okay? Apply the theories into reality. And then you will, from that application of in reality, you will know what kind of right or wrong on the ideology that you learn, and then you go back and you change, you fix, you revise the ideology, and then you go back and apply it. You just do that as a feedback loop, like study, theory, practice, practice, have theory, and theory, practice. You do it again and again and again until you create enough, conditions for the revolution to happen. Everything, as I said, everything starts from simple steps. But you must start it. If you don't, that's never gonna happen. I do believe that countries out from outside the imperial core will have a revolution faster than the imperial core. Yes, because the material conditions outside the imperial core is very different from the imperial core. Like, at least we have less indoctrination, okay, and we have a clear, identity difference. I gotta say, like Brazil, like Chile, like Peru, El Salvador, Ecuador, like Ecuador, something like that. So many countries like that, okay? Less indoctrination, and there's clear distinction between the imperial core in your country, and you learn the imperialism from those countries, and that imperial core is exploiting you. That might be easier for people from outside of the imperial core to wake up and learn class consciousness and then start liberating themselves. Now, in the imperial core, my guess is this: you will have revolution slower than the outside imperial core, because first, you're full of indoctrination. You are living in the belly of the beast, the most indoctrinated area of the world, the imperial core. The USA, UK, Canada, Australia, something like that. Okay? It's going to take you a longer time to break through that indoctrination and then learn class consciousness. Secondly, because it's imperial core, so all the military power are focused on that area. So of course, all of the movement, uprising will be cracked down very quickly because of the cops and the military and the weapons over there. So you have to do a harder job if you want revolution. And get ready, because this is the thing. There will be sacrifices. People will have to die for revolution to happen. That is truth. That is the thing that we must accept, and we must avoid as hard as possible. But also it's a thing that you must accept. And if it happens, do not lose hope. You're fighting for your next generation. You're fighting for your children. Generations of Vietnamese died without seeing the victory day. My grandpa died in 1968 during the Tet Offensive, when Vietnam was on the verge of losing the Vietnam War. But he still fought, and he died for it. He died so me, his granddaughter, can live in peacetime like this. So just think about, that is why selfishness is very dangerous. Individualism is very dangerous. That is why capitalism, the imperial core, have been trying so hard to push, the individualism fit in your head. Every man for himself. And if you cannot see any benefit for yourself, you're not going to do it. Fuck everybody. Now, that is a very dangerous mindset. You must fight against it. Because starting revolution and building socialism is a very hard, arduous job that might take decades, might take generations of people to do it. But you must do it. You rather die fighting or die by gunshot from some fascist on the street doing nothing. If I am in that situation, I would rather choose to die fighting because we are fighting for a better cause. We're fighting for the next generation. I'm fighting for my own children in the future. I might not see the success in my lifetime, but that's fine. I'm still doing it. Che Guevara fought for his comrades in the world. Of course, he must knew that he could not see the victory of the whole world in his lifetime, but it didn't stop him from doing it. Ho Chi Minh died in 1969, 6 years before we won against the USA. 6 years. But he never stopped fighting. So the point is to never stop fighting. The point is to try to not doing nothing. Because if you don't do anything, and if you let the fascists, the white supremacists, to take power of the whole country, you're gonna die no matter what. And your children are gonna die no matter what. Die in a horrible death. And I'm sorry, but I am being a little bit dark today. But in the situation like this, you need to get ready for that darkness to come. Never lose hope. Never stop fighting, but get ready for the dark to come and welcome it. Do the best as you can. Of course, like if you're unable to do anything, you have this disability, totally understand that. Totally understand that. Just do what makes you according to your need, to each according to your ability. Just do as you can. Just don't do anything you feel like you don't feel comfortable with, or you don't feel safe. Might endanger your life. Don't do it. But talking to the comrades that can do something to help other people, I really encourage you to organize. Keep yourself safe and then organize, do mutual aid, dual power structure, education, teach other comrades. Oh, thank you so much, Cesar NK, North Korea. Maybe. Thank you so much for your donation. The message is truth. Thank you so much. JMG had a super chat 24 minutes ago. Said, what is the role of the proletariat in socialism? I mean, the role of the proletariat in socialism is to everything is on our shoulder, comrades. If you're proletariat and you want to build socialism, the whole society, the whole world is on your shoulder. You will have to, now first, let me see. Okay, educate yourself. Socialism. Teach your comrades about socialism. And then you have to advocate for that construction of socialism by you can, if you like politics, join the political system. Okay? And if you're good at farming, opening, running business, join that. You're good at organizing, join workers union, something like that, and try to get your voice heard by the government, something like that. Giving feedback, something like that. Okay, so the role of the proletariat is everything. Hey, is right here? Wait a minute, I'm wearing my headphones. What? What are you doing, EJ? Okay. All right. Thank you so much for super chat. The role of the proletariat under socialism is everything. We need to do everything, folks. It's kind of tired, actually. Oh, oh, thank you, EJ, for sending me this. Here I will show you again. Talking because I talk about, I talk about how we unite different class of people and kind of hot. Different class of people and how to build, successful revolution, something like that. Let me read you an actual textbook of of the history class of Vietnam, how we talk about uniting even the petty bourgeoisie. Share, right? Okay, here. I'm sorry, my computer is kind of slow now. Chrome tab, this one, right? Okay. This. Okay. Get ready. Okay. So this is from the high school of Vietnam, high school textbook. I'm sorry, my computer is extremely slow today. Okay, so high school textbook said the petty bourgeois class includes intellectuals, scientists, and small business owners, handicraftsmen, doctors, lawyers, and civil servants. The vast majority of contemporary intellectuals before the August Revolution of 1945, including students, belonged to the petty bourgeoisie. In general, they were also oppressed by imperialism and feudalism, often unemployed and uneducated. I mean, uneducated in the sense that, like, handicraftsmen, business owners, small business owners, they usually, or civil servants, something like that. At that time, a lot of them were very, like, uneducated, something like that. But the petty bourgeoisie were educated and politically sensitive. They did not directly exploit labor. Therefore, they easily absorbed revolutionary education and went along with the workers and peasants. However, the intelligentsia and students often suffer from great weaknesses such as theory not being coupled with practice, contempt for labor, vague ideas, unstable stance, and erratic behaviors in political actions. Here. Some other petty bourgeoisie, scientists, and small businessmen, freelancers, etc., were also exploited by imperialism and feudalism. Their economic circumstances were precarious, and they often found themselves unemployed and bankrupt. Therefore, the majority also participated in and supported the resistance war and revolution. They are also important allies of the working class. In general, these members of the petty bourgeoisie had a number of weaknesses: self interest, fragmentation, and a lack of determination. Therefore, the working class has a duty to agitate and spread propaganda to such members of the petty bourgeoisie, organize them, and help them to develop their strong points while correcting their weaknesses. It is necessary to skillfully lead them, make them determined to serve the people, reform their ideology, and unite with the workers and peasants in order to become one cohesive movement. Then they will become a great asset for the public in resistance, war, and revolution. Now, see this? Vietnam talk about this extremely in detail about how the petty bourgeoisie is a very potential allies to the working class of Vietnam in the 1940s. This is in the context of Vietnam in the 1940s. Don't get me wrong, okay? The point is, we do not exclude any potential allies out of our movement, but we also do not conform our ideology with their privileged position, our role of the proletariat is to learn the strong points and the weaknesses of different groups of people, different classes of people. And then we have to educate them, agitate them, change ideology to make them understand that why they should support the working class, the workers and the peasants. For example, now you do not exclude the white workers out of the movement if you're black or if you're indigenous, and vice versa. White workers must not exclude the indigenous people and black people out of their movement. The point is that we, as indigenous people, as black people, we must learn that the white working class, okay, they have a strong point that they're also being exploited by capitalism. They also hate their bosses. They also have to live under this horrible capitalist hellhole. But there's weaknesses that like they still receive a little bit of the privileged position because they white. Now, and their ideology is not really, strong yet. Their class consciousness is still low, Okay? Now, learn about them, understand them. And what can you do? You consider them as potential allies. Potential, not like must be ally or something. You welcome anybody. First, you educate them. You teach them. Okay? And you welcome anybody who wants to join with you. That is why I have so many good comrades who are white, cis male, living in the imperial core. There are so many of them, and we welcome you. And because we want to promote their strong points and then want to fix their weaknesses, means that teach them, change their ideology, teach them why you should support indigenous people, land back, and black nationalism. Educate them about that. And if they want to join, welcome, they welcome. And if the assholes who just straight up like shit on us and then do not listen to us and claim that we want to ethno state, like fuck them all. They can go with themselves. Saying that it means that like we at the working class, marginalized people, our role, our mission is to learn the strong points and the weaknesses of all classes and groups of people. Take advantage of all the strong points of them. Try to teach them, talk with them, agitate them, so they can understand our position, to welcome them to our movement. Because once they join us, our movement will be stronger and stronger. So like, the same thing happened with white workers movement. If they want to have any movement, they need to consider indigenous people, black people like us, black people and indigenous people like me, like us, are potential allies. They cannot exclude us because our strong point is that we have a clear ideology, and we have clear demands, and they need to understand our struggles. They need to join with us. Something like that. Okay? Like, it is dialectical materialism, but the working class, the marginalized people, like indigenous people, black people, Asian people, is the core, what do you call it? The core force, the core force of the movement. You need to understand that. You are the core force of the revolution. The poor working class. In Vietnam in the 1940s, it was the workers and the peasants. But in the USA right now, according to my own very limited opinion, the core force of the liberation of the movement right now is the working class of indigenous people, black people, non-white people, working class non-white people. The core, because you are, the reason why I say this, because the working class non-white people is the vast majority of the USA. The population. You account for the most population of USA. And then you have the highest potential of having class consciousness. Okay? And you also have their own very special, unique demand to fight against imperialism. For indigenous people, it is land back. For Black people, it is equality, anti-racism. Okay? You are the core of the movement. You need to be the leader of the movement. And all the petty bourgeoisie, the white working class, you need to educate and conform their ideology so they can be potential allies of you, the working class, non-white people. Okay, got me? Got it? That is, I could be wrong. Very much likely, I could be wrong, but that's my idea of that. So, yeah. Here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with being white. But you must understand this. Whiteness is a social construct. It is a pseudoscience. It is a social construct that was created to justify imperialism and capitalist exploitation. Whiteness is not real. It is not a culture. It is not skin color. It is not how you look. Okay? So, if you still cling into the idea of whiteness and you identify yourself as white and you feel okay with it, I really urge you to educate yourself about what is whiteness and why does it exist. What is it created for? For example, one of the strongest example of how whiteness is a bullshit social construct. Irish people was considered a lower second-class citizen, the same as Black people. But Irish people in the 19th, 20th century, they trying to be accepted in the whiteness society by becoming extremely racist to Black people and becoming cops. That is why they are accepted. And that is why you consider them white right now, even though just 100, 200 years ago, they're not white. They're not. Whiteness is pseudoscience created to justify racism, imperialism, exploitation. Because it is so fucking bullshit. Yes, exactly. Like Italians, French, Irish, Slavs, Jews are all today considered white, but not always in the past. Exactly. Whiteness is a social construct that if you conform to the white supremacism ideology, you decide to become the henchman, the lapdog, the hound for the white supremacists, you will be accepted. It is a disease. Whiteness is a mindset. Yeah, like Sarah said. Whiteness is not skin color because, you know what? My skin color is even brighter than EJ, my partner, who is literally has blue eyes and considered white. I have a lighter skin, but I'm not white. How funny is that? So many Asian people have way brighter skin than actual white people, but Somehow we're not white. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Irish people was not white before, but now they white. Why is that? If it's a natural thing, why is that? Like, and also I talked to many Brazilian comrades. They were considered white in Brasilia, in Brazilian society in Brazil. But when they went to the USA, they got treated like shit because Americans didn't see them as white, even though they thought they were white in Brazilian in Brazil. It is to tell you that whiteness is a total social construct, totally bullshit, that does not have any foundation basis, scientific basis. There's no whiteness in DNA. There's nothing in the DNA that tell you you're white. And in this society, you're considered white. In that society, you're not. Like, a lot of people, like, I'm sorry, but lots of you think that, like, Russian, Slavic people, not white. Even though to us Asian, their skin color is very bright. Something like that. I mean, yeah. It's, and so many people cling into that idea of whiteness. I try so hard to understand that mindset, and I think I kind of understand right now why people in the imperial core, why do they cling so hard to the concept of whiteness. Now, let me explain it. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. My theory is this: people who consider white living in the USA right now, they live in a stolen land. They do not have any heritage that they are proud of because they lost. They cannot chase back far enough to see what's the real country that they came from. Most of you lost their family lineage and family heritage. And the country that you're actually living right now, it is fascist and racist as fuck. Founded on stolen land, on the genocides of indigenous people and slavery of black people. There's nothing that you can be proud of the country that you're living in, and you don't have any connection. You lost it due to imperialism, capitalism, colonialism. You destroy your path back to the actual ancestors. So now you're in the position, you're lost. You're lost. I gotta say that history and family heritage is very important to a person. I'm Vietnamese, born and living in Vietnam. I'm so proud of my country's history, of my family's heritage. Two of my grandparents, one joined the Điện Biên Phủ victory, one joined the fight against the USA imperialism. That's very important. That very partially like made me who I am right now. But lots of white people in the United States right now, as I said, they are going through their cognitive dissonance. They do not have nothing to chase back to their actual heritage, the actual country that they came from, the ancestor came from. And the country that they're living in right now, it is so fucked. It is so racist. It is so fascist that they cannot be proud of it. That is why they made up their own false consciousness about something like whiteness, white people, white culture, white history. They had to cling to that false consciousness because it's something that might help them be proud of that. Because, with the whiteness, identify as whiteness. If you identify with yourself as a white person, you receive privilege. You're white. Means that, you will have a higher salary if you go to like country like Vietnam. If you're white and become an English teacher or something like that, you have a higher salary. That is privilege. Your white people will treat you better. Your boss will not yell at you using like racial slurs. Your white is easier for you to go along in the society with other fascist racist people. That whiteness, the false consciousness, the whiteness, bring them pride, even though it's false. Pride of being white, of being feeling so much better. Even though you are the people that brought like slavery and colonialism and misery to millions of people in the world, but somehow, according to some 19th century like pseudo scientists measuring the skull size, you smarter, you know better, you civilized of the world, and your role is to bring civilization, the light of liberation, love, civilization to the whole world. You know better. You can teach the whole world. That is like, to me, it's like you're addicted to it. It's like opium to you. And I mean, I could be wrong, but it is my perspective looking at the imperial core, the people who are so proud to be white. Well, now, my advice is, I thought about this a lot too. Because my partner, he's considered white. And I know that he's trying so hard to break through the indoctrination, the whiteness, the false consciousness of whiteness. And I understand. And here's the thing. If you're white, living in the imperial core, and you want to destroy the false consciousness of whiteness, what can you do? It is hard. It is hard to get rid of the thing that you're so comfortable with for so long, and it gives you privilege. It is hard. But my sincere advice for you is that you think about, you care about non-white people. And you use that love to fill up the empty part of your heart. You give up your whiteness, you fight against it. There's going to be a big hole in your heart that you will feel lost. Fill that up with the love for marginalized people. The people that their identity being used against them. That your own people use their identity, create a false consciousness, pseudoscience, and to exploit them, to slaughter them, to enslave them. Take that love and anger, fill it up your heart, and advocate that hole in your heart to help the people. Because what we want as indigenous people, the non-white people, we don't think that we are superior. We don't want ethno state. We don't want to murder you white people, quote unquote white people. We don't. We just want to be treated equally. We want equality. We want a society that is no longer racism and exploitation. About land back, for example. Once the indigenous people in the USA take the land back from capitalists, all of you are welcome to go live in that land. I talk to so many indigenous comrades, and I know exactly what I'm talking about. Lots of white people, instead of asking and listening to us what we mean when we say land back, they just assume what we meant and then attack us for that straw man that they made. They thought that we would create like a
ethno state where we like kick out all white people and slaughter them all or what. Like, no, not. Literally, we are trying to take the land back from Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, from the United States of America, the State Department. And then we take that land back and we turn it into collective ownership of everybody that live there. You will have a part in that society if you fight alongside with us. Okay? We would welcome you if you join with us. Like, dude, you're living in your overpriced, crappy apartment that's not owned by you, owned by some landlord's asshole somewhere. If you fight with indigenous people right now for land back in that new society where the land ownership is collective ownership, you will have your own house. You will have a part in that society where you collectively live together and protect that land together. Because indigenous people, believe it or not, we do not have the belief, the concept of private ownership of land. In Vietnam right now, our land is owned by the people of Vietnam. It is a collective ownership of land. And in Vietnam right now, every single one that who were born in rural area will be distributed a piece of farm for free. It will not make you rich. It won't. But you will never starve because that is enough for you to live on, to grow your own food. Imagine you were born in the USA and no matter what kind of groups of ethnic you are, what kind of skin color you have, you will immediately receive a piece of farmland that you can live on. Just imagine that future. That is the thing that Vietnam did. That is the thing that I am living in right now. I'm having a piece of farmland, rice farm, 500 square meter that I own. I got it for free from the government. You can also that. That is what indigenous people is fighting for, Jesus. How many times I have to say this and how many white people, especially patriotic socialists, fought against this. Well, you're almost over time. The chat is very wild today. Ah, I know, dude. I know. I know that what I'm doing right now is very, what do you call it, too radical for lots of people in the imperial core, especially if they're white. I know. I understand. And I expect this, you know? I expect the cognitive dissonance from people inside the imperial core. And I am not surprised. I expect this and I don't care because because you know what? I said it many times. My target audience is non-white people, especially from the outside of the imperial core. If you are non-white people, you're my target audience. That is you, the fruit that I want to reach. If you are white and you're from the imperial core and you're listening to this and you know, it's just like you just listen to me calmly, nicely. I really appreciate that because you're one of the very rare people who break through that indoctrination and racism and decide to listen to just a Vietnamese girl living in Vietnam, never set a foot to the USA, in the USA. I really appreciate that. Yes, really appreciate that. You really like you got here extra effort. You made extra effort to be here and listen to this stream. I mean, you don't need to agree with me with everything on everything. You don't need to. You don't. We all individuals. We have our own thoughts and belief and different life experience. You don't. You don't need to agree with everything. What I want you to do is to just listen. And if you have, if I raise any questions inside you, maybe take your time to research more and ask yourself, why did I say that, and why did you think that differently? It just, my point is to raise questions and yeah, cognitive dissonance. Somehow to question the indoctrination that you've been through, because my perspective is the opposite of your perspective, because I'm from Vietnam, a country which is the victim of US imperialism, victim of French colonialism, victim of Japanese fascism. And I was born in this society where I don't have to face racism. And I just give you a different perspective, different narrative. So you can use that as a counter argument against the system, the information that you've been fed your whole life. That's it. I mean, I see a lot of shows in the comments. Good. I don't care. I don't care, because like my country defeated colonialism, imperialism, and fascism. We have our own country. I'm living here, having a free piece of farmland that I got for free from the government. Do you have it? Do you have a free piece of farmland? I have a great life over here. And those online shows, they are feeding into the algorithm. I welcome it. I really don't give a shit, because first, I'm better than that. Secondly, I literally living here in this room of my roommates. We live a simple life like this with books and clothes and a picture like that. But every single one of my roommates right now also own a piece of farmland. Yay! Do you have that? It's just a symbol. It's just like we just are like, hey, how big is your farmland? What did you grow there? And I acknowledge that Vietnam is not perfect. It's just like our parents. Our parents are not perfect. They made mistakes and we hate them. Sometimes. Many times. But I still love my parents. I still want to help them, Well, a Vietnamese candy or pastry. Ooh. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, about that. We're gonna have after party right now. After party, after party. If you're on the Luna Ơi channel, I'm gonna stop the stream right now. Okay? I wanna stop the stream right now. Because I'm gonna just only live stream on my Luna Ơi Lives channel. We're gonna have an after party and I'm gonna answer all the questions that you might have for me. For about 30 more minutes. Okay? If you want Twitch, fine. Stand there, stay there. Don't go anywhere. I'm still gonna be live on Twitch. Don't worry. But I'm sending you the link to my Luna Ơi Lives channel right now. So if you want to join the after party, click the link. I will be there. The reason why I'm doing this is because
Oh, thank you so much, non-compete Senate. Thank you so much. Because I'm doing this because slowly and steadily, I will move over my live stream to my Luna Early Life channel. And I really encourage you to subscribe to that channel. And if you like love my live stream like this, have fun together. Go check it out. Okay, bye bye, YouTube Luna ơi people. There's a link in the chat if you want to join the after party. Okay, Twitch people, don't go anywhere. People on Luna ơi live, do not go anywhere. I'm just leaving this Luna ơi. Okay. Okay. Hi everybody. I'm kind of thirsty. I talk a lot today. God damn it. All right. The question about candies and pastries. I love peanuts candy. Vietnamese peanuts candy. It's a symbol like you melt sugar, a little bit like caramelized. Then you fried some peanuts, clean the skin out, and then you mix that peanuts with that caramelized sugar. Wait for it to get dry, and then you cut into more pieces, something like that. You cut it into small pieces when it's still hot, kind of soft. You wait for a few minutes, it got hard, and then you eat it. Let me show you the picture of it. Kẹo lạc. We call it like the peanut candy. Kẹo lạc. It's just easy. I'm thinking about making a video teaching you how to cook this. It's just so simple. And I do think that lots of people know about this already. So I'm not sure that I should do that video or not. Share, stop screen, and then share new screen. Okay, here. I'm so hungry now. Here, that's it. Oh, they're so good. We mix it with sesame too, you know. And it's this. And they are the best with green tea. Ooh, real good. Yes, I do a lot of cooking tutorials. It's just recently I haven't made any because I travel a lot, you know. So I didn't have a time to really like cook in my kitchen, but soon, comrade. Soon, very soon, I will have my whole project just for cooking and farming. Very soon. Please give me some time. Okay. Looks like peanut burrito. Maybe because it is a very common kind of candy over the world, not just Vietnam. You know, it's just easy to make. Oh, really? Yeah, sure. They're everywhere. This kind of candy everywhere. Kẹo lạc, we call them kẹo lạc, peanut candies. Is coffee popular in Vietnam? It is one of the most famous drink in Vietnam. Yes, because we grow them too, you know, everywhere. You can have an awesome cup of coffee about 20.000, 15-20.000 đồng, bao nhiêu nhỉ? About 50 to a dollar, 50 cents to a dollar. In every corner of Vietnam, everywhere. Your skill are hunting and fishing and surviving in the wild. You have everything that we need. Oh my gosh. Seriously. Join the when the revolution joined the you know, we have the army of like cookers, you know, of like chefs.
Join them. You want to be the best. Because you know what? When we had the war with the USA, we had to stay in the jungle a lot, right? And always there need to be a cook along. Well, at least there need to be like one or two cooks every battalion. And because we had to live and fight in the jungle, so food is also was always so rare and hard to find. So the skills of people who like had to find vegetable in the jungle, catch fishes or catch like hunting in the jungle, so good. This is everything that we need. Beside martial art or gun trainers or fighters, the cook. The cook is very important. Thank you, Alex. It's 4:20. There's a dab. Thank you so much for your donation. There's no message, but thank you so much. How can technology nerds have the revolution? Are you kidding me? This is this society today is the era of the internet. You can create. I'm a nerd, but not like technology nerd, but like according to my very limited opinion, you can help like do things like this like we as a revolutionaries we really need something to protect our identity online. Maybe with your expertise you can help us like protect our messages, protect our phone calls, protect our phone, lock down our phone so cops cannot find out or hack it, you know and like send like coded messages. Uh-huh. I'm not advocating for any illegal action right here right now because it's gonna violate term of service. So I but technology is very important in this new era. I gotta say. hmm So like even when the Vietnam War, in the Vietnam War, we had like very few like technology stuff like that, and it was so hard for us to like transmit messages, code them, protect it. I mean, we had a whole team of like we call it like the technician kind of soldier. That all team will run with a whole battalion, and they will be in charge of all the information stuff, electricity information, something like that. It's very important too, and they always like the first to be protected because they are gonna be the one who's to send information to other team to run the whole battle. So a combat engineer, exactly, combat engineer. They are the one who will be protected the most because like what do you call it? The machine was so rare, and one machine would be like assigned to the best engineers, like combat engineer, and he was like the most protected, always got into the safest ground, and he was the first one to send message and the last one to leave because information like that. Yeah, yeah, so yeah, very important. Do you know about the agroforest and regenerative agriculture in Vietnam, I guess? But you said it seems the research system difficult to change. Yeah, we really have. I gotta say because our country is agricultural agrarian country for thousands of years, so we have a lot of experience in this kind of stuff. And the system that we are having right now to, you know, regenerative and agroforest, something like that, is it's really well set already. Of course, there's some very bad things about like forests in Vietnam are being illegally. You know those capitalists found loophole and like corrupted people. They gave under table money. They gave the money to the local government and asked for permission to have some plans on that forest, like build like resort or build like farm, factory, something like that on it. And technically, theoretically, the government control this very, very strictly because it will affect the size of our forest and how to save our environment. And lots of filthy capitalists, they paid their money to get their plan accepted. It is the truth. This is the truth. I saw myself, lots of plans got rejected after a few years of starting it because the central government found out and they stopped that. I mean, there's a way to change it. Fight against corruption. It's really, really bad. And the real estate bubble too. Yeah, similar things happen in Puerto Rico with protected government lands that are supposed to be illegal to develop. Same. Ugh. We can also develop a leftist alternatives to big tech services. Exactly. Not and video games. Yes, we really need more video games that will fight against the fucking like Call of Duty. Ugh, we need more of like really like leftist, socialist, communist video games. Seriously, I'm so, I'm so done with all the racist, fascistic kind of video games where you just play as like American soldier and go and hunt down like Vietnamese non-white people or what like ugh. How can we change culture? Very big question too. Um, this is what Vietnam has been doing. I can give you an answer that Vietnam is doing right now. Change the culture. Now, the culture of Vietnam is a culture a few thousand years old. It's very strong and deep rooted in Vietnamese society. Ho Chi Minh, with his Ho Chi Minh Thought. The point he been saying a lot, teaching us to question our own culture. Yes, Ho Chi Minh and many other communists in Vietnam, even the government of Vietnam, they taught us to question our culture, to not follow it blindly. So what we are doing right now, we haven't been doing for decades right now, is that we learn our culture and then we keep the good part of it and then we'll erase the bad part of it. For example, Vietnamese culture, we have the tradition of respecting our old people. Old people receive a lot of respect in Vietnam. That is a good part of culture that we will keep because we will respect older people, wiser people. We can see that like the older you are, the wiser you get. So we need to like respect those people. The bad part of our culture is this is a very bad thing, but we call it tạo hôn, means that like we get married in very early age, 13, 15-year old. For thousands, hundreds of years we did it. It was partially because at that time we had way shorter life. So we tend to like got married really early so we can start our family and have a baby, something like that. It is so bad. It is very bad for both the bodies of the girls and the mental health of the both too. So it's bad for both. We're trying really hard to erase this. We call this like hủ tục. As a contrary to the tradition, hủ tục is the bad tradition. We have a word for that, and we eliminate that. We change it. So means that you do not totally destroying the culture that been with you for hundreds, thousands of years. It is impossible. Don't even try it because, again, dialectical materialism, you cannot just completely destroy the whole used thing that been with you for so long. You try to uphold the good part and then eliminate the bad parts of it because culture is a very special thing. It's been with us for so long and it's so important to our society that you cannot just completely, you cannot just like push the button delete and it will disappear and go to the recycle bin or something. So yeah, that's how you change culture. You change it slowly, passively, and this is gonna be the this is gonna last for God knows how long, decades, centuries. But you do it slowly and steadily, fixing it, something like that. Again, like it's the same thing. It's again dialectical materialism too. Um, want to change something? You do it from the simple step to a more complicated, to a higher complicated. So that's why I say, like, if you want to change the regime, if you want to have a revolution, you start from very simple stuff, such as learn how to protect yourself, protect other people, organize doing mutual aid, dual power structure, get together, have a big force, and then have a revolution. Hmm. All right, wait, I'm checking the chat right now. I went to film school and it went really deep into Marxist film theory during my senior semesters. I'd like to see a resurgence in the Frankfurt School. Thought? I have no clue. I have no clue about this. I'm sorry I cannot answer you, but it's very interesting that you have a Marxist film theory. Hmm. Hmm. The US elites just gonna evacuate to Mars and leave us to fight over the scraps. I mean, I wish that they would do that. Just like Elon Musk, just go to the space and never come back. I wish that they will do that. Exactly. This is the point. The important thing is not if we are to achieve communism tomorrow, next year, or in 100 years, but to trail the communist path today, tomorrow, and forever. Yes, exactly. The Vietnamese embassy in Brazil just published a book containing articles and speeches from Uncle Ho. Yay! Awesome! This is how misinformation being spread. I ate all of your food. Hey. Oh. I asked us the government determine what you plan in with area and show a rice field. This means that you can make an agro-forest. Yeah. You're right. I got your point now. Yeah. The government in Vietnam, we design very clearly what kind of vegetable that can be grown on what piece of land. But not too detailed that like they design exactly like what name the plant. No, it's so we Vietnamese we have several kinds of agricultural land like this. First, rice field, farmland. We call it like the annual cây trồng hàng năm annual plant farmland. Okay, so this is so the first kind of farmland is a kind that you can grow the kind of plants that you can harvest within a year. So we can grow vegetables, corns, rice, any kind of plant that you can harvest within a year. That's fine. Okay. So after that we have a cây trồng lâu năm, means that like the long term plan farmland. Uh-huh. Where you can grow like big trees like grapefruits, other kinds, the mangoes. Like that. That's the second type. And the third type is rừng sản xuất, means that the kind of forest that you grow and you can collect from it wood. You can collect wood from it, but you can only grow like the wood kind of trees, like the production forest, production producing forest, something like that in English. The third kind. Okay, like you grow, you plant the trees there, and then you can collect woods and fruits from it. The main point is to make it as forest, man-made forest, but you still can make some money out of it. Okay. The other kind of farmland is aqua agriculture farmland, đất nuôi trồng thủy sản. Okay. This kind of farmland, it depends on what kind of animals you're gonna acquire, animals you're gonna raise, like shrimps or fish or snails or clams, something like that. You will, yeah, it's like a pond. You raise fish there, and that's it. You cannot change it into like, I don't know. If they give you an aqua agriculture kind of farmland, you have to raise like seafood there. You know, you cannot just like put the land there and turn it into a garden. No, you can't. That's what we force you to do. I mean, mostly we separate it into, the how long the plants are gonna be harvested, the purpose of growing those. Yeah. Gardening is very important to the revolution. Yes. Yes. Because again, you will fight for years. So gardening, making food, growing food is very important. Extremely important. A lot of people are going to bed now, huh? Bye, everybody. We have about 8 minutes left. 8 minutes left. I'm checking the chat right now. Okay, I think next time I will finish the Ho Chi Minh Thought. I just got 3 main points today. I have other 3 points to make, so you can have some basic understanding of Ho Chi Minh Thought. Imagine a country with a long-term plan on for anything. Well, the book ready? Oh, this is you have to ask the Center for Communist Study. I've been harassing them for so long time right now. I know that they're busy. I don't blame them. Just like, they're very busy. So everything is finished. So now we're waiting for the final proof for the printing. That's it. Rock band. I like a Vietnamese rock band. They call the War. Bức tường. I cannot show you the actual song, so because of the copyright thing, but I will show you the image of them. They're really cool. They were very famous in the early like 2000s, something like that. Here, that's it. Bức tường means the wall. A Vietnamese famous rock band. Really like the style. Am I into music? Yes, I'm very into music, and mostly Vietnamese music. I can show you some famous Vietnamese like singers and artists that you can check out. Let's check out. I love her a lot. She's Hoàng Thùy Linh. She's really awesome. I like her style because she loves to combine, the modern style and the traditional Vietnamese style together into like this. Just check this out. It's really awesome like this. Like that. This is our non lá, the Chronicle hat, and she like in a very modern style like this. Just check her out. Her name is Hoàng Thùy Linh. My favorite. She's awesome. She's a singer. She's a great dancer too. Beautiful. And I think she's bisexual. She's now in a relationship with a non-binary Vietnamese, also an artist. They perfect together. Another famous is Trúc Nhân, also good. It's like he's gay, really cute, and I really love his style of music because it's like funny in a mocking way. I mean, it's check him out. And that's his name is Trúc Nhân. Really sweet, talented. Anything else? Oh, rap. About rapper, I love Dan Vo, I guess. Yeah, Dan Vo is him. He's one of the most. He's now the one of the most famous and talented rapper of Vietnam right now. Check him out. He's on YouTube too. His name is Dan Vo, and his style of music is that the lyrics very beautiful, meaningful, and he started as he's like he was very poor. He was born in a super poor family. He used to collect trash. He's a trash collector, and then he decided to start his music career and on YouTube, and then he's now very famous, talented. His lyrics very beautiful. Mostly talk about like the life of a citizen, like like I mean, kind of really thoughtful kind of lyrics, not too much about love. No, mostly talk about the life of the frustration of the office worker living in the city, and then want to escape into the nature, something like that. Or he talk about like how his family life. He loved his parents, his mother, but his mother always like asked him to like bring her a daughter-in-law home. It's kind of funny and very like daily life kind of lyrics like that. So I love it. Okay, I think that it's time. I'm very hungry too. I think I need to go have some lunch right now. I'm starving. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I hope that you enjoyed the live stream. Hope that we had a good time together, and see you next time. Bye bye. Good night. Have a good day, wherever you are.